another sophomore album
Mhm.
from Jack Harlow, who, we talked about Bad Bunny earlier being the 24th most listened to artist on Spotify. Jack Harlow is the 16th, man.
Right.
He's huge. He's
In
a
the US.
superstar in the US. Yes, in the US. And I know that you have some mixed feelings. I think about Jack Harlow in terms of does he deserve all of the acclaim he gets? And I wonder if "Come Home, the Kids Miss You" did anything to change your opinion on that.
Right. Well, I think more specifically, it's not that Jack Harlow has a lot of acclaim. He just has a lot of success and
Mm.
popularity to this point. Obviously, I really love What's Poppin', seminal song of early 2020, 2020 TikTok, pandemic TikTok, etc. It's a really good song. And Jack Harlow generally is a competent rapper. He's very technical. My thing though, and what I said a lot about, that's what they all say, which came out at the end of 2020, is I just don't think the music has been there for Jack Harlow. Like, he doesn't actually have as much personality in his music as people seem to ascribe to him because they like his celebrity. And meanwhile, he's just rapidly ascending. He is effectively a top tier rapper in the United States. And I just don't think it's justified in his music. There are other obvious reasons why he's gotten as big as he has. And it's nothing against the guy. I actually think he's a really nice guy. Seems like very well intentioned. He seems to be an open ally, obviously, following his collaboration with Lil Nas X on Ministry Baby. And, he stopped drinking a year and a half ago. He moved back to his hometown of Louisville. Seems very intentional about keeping a straight arrow. And he's also very respectful of the space he's in, obviously, as a white guy in hip hop. But I just haven't heard the records, at least not consistently, to this point, to feel like he's worthy of this very high status he has. Because I think it's very interesting to see the music he does have that's successful, the hits he does have to this point. He's basically making club hip hop. He's making more mainstream rap music. He's not really going for the lyrical miracle crowd, and he's not doing any like cringy, things we might associate with like stereotypical white rappers or anything. He's making mainstream hip hop music and he's getting some run like in clubs. And it is very kind of fascinating for me to see Jack Harlow finding success making club records because no white rapper has really done that. I think G-Eazy had No Limit, of course, but other than that, the white rappers that are successful, Eminem was on the radio and Mac Miller was on the internet. Like, we haven't had someone as centrist and mainstream that was white like we have right now with Jack Harlow. So this second album, Come Home, the Kids Miss You, I definitely think it's a better record and a step in the right direction. But I'm still a bit lukewarm overall on the quality of his music.
Sounds like "Come Home, the Kids Miss You" didn't change anything in your opinion on that, right?
Well, the thing is, I would say Jack, he's still pretty intentional with his music. I think you have to look no further than First Class, which became the number one song in the country. When he released that snippet, of course, famously now, sampling Fergie's Glamorous in a very fun way. He releases the preview on like his Instagram, and it gets a really big response. Credit to him and his team for immediately putting the song out at the end of that very week.
Oh yeah.
Blows up on TikTok. Again, in a sense, you could be cynical and say it's kind of like a ready-made for TikTok chorus. Either way, it's a really cool sample. I like it. That at least explains to me that Jack is still pretty thoughtful about his music, at least in some fashion. And the Drake comparisons that he gets from the way he actually raps, they certainly aren't stopping when you have as an intentional of a release thought for a song the way Jack did with First Class. And I think there's a few more moments on the record, but there's also times where I think like when he's like trying to do his storytelling stuff again, his back again, technical rapper, I just don't feel like he brings much to the table at all. Like, yeah, like he might have a witty line or two, but the problem is like I just don't hear the personality. He has all these viral moments as a celebrity. Like is he flirting with Saweetie? Trying to holla at Doja Cat in the Instagram live in general. Seems to have a very high approval rating with women across all races, but that personality isn't actually in the music if you really listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, his personality is just like being a Mac Daddy, right? Like he just is the kind of guy who's hitting on girls and trying to, hook up with them. And I think that's relatable to a lot of younger people who are listening to this music. He has a song called Dua Lipa, which is pretty much just him, macking on Dua Lipa, which is whatever. It is what it is. I mean, I agree with you. I don't know if this album I'm gonna leave and be like, man, this is like a Dave album where just the way he story tells and goes into thoughtful content. No, I mean this is vibes, bro, and the vibes on this are immaculate, and I just really enjoyed listening to this because it was a lighthearted listen for me where I was like, oh, I don't have to I can just turn my brain off and just kind of let Pharrell drop in here for a little bit, or let uh Snoop Dogg just drop in for like a quick 20-second cameo and then pop back out and listen to like a fun beat, which I think the beats on this are really really fun to listen to. So I don't know. Jack Harlow is a superstar for being a superstar, not for being a rapper, and I'm kind of cool with that.
Yeah, again, to his credit, like he really rides for the Ville,
Yeah.
and obviously praise Bryson Tiller precedes him in that regard. However, Jack has really done a lot to shine a light on ESTG, who's rapidly rising out of Louisville as well. And like I said, his kind of open allyship as a friend of Lil Nas X is great to see as well. And like you said, I think my fear is that he kind of goes a little dicky route, right? Uses rap to become a big star and then kind of leaves it behind to do other stuff. Jack Harlow cast in the White Man Can't Jump remake. Jack Harlow, though, has a big body of work as a rapper, and he says he's still hip hop first. So, not going to begrudge him for taking other opportunities as they present themselves, of course. Um, I just want to continue to hear the growth uh, in the music because, like, for me, a song like Nail Tech, which I believe was the first single for this album, a song that got on Kanye's radar actually, that led Kanye to pronounce Jack as top 5 right now and have Jack come up on Donda 2. Nail Tech for me though, it's like, yeah, it's just kind of like a solid song because again, I just don't. This is not enough Jack for me in his music that it just doesn't rise above anything else I listen to, and I just feel like there needs to be a higher bar for people that kind of skip a few steps in their fame the way Jack has, because again, the records haven't really been there consistently enough to have Jack Harlow be more popular artist in the United States than Bad Bunny, to be blunt. However, like you said, Dua Lipa, whether it's a gear for TikTok or not, a relatable hook. Who else would disagree with Dua Lipa? I'm trying to do more than do a feature. It's a great line.
It's a great line, and that's the thing, right? Is he really feels like an artist who just gears he does what Drake does isn't really able to do as well, which is he gears his music for the 20-second, 30-second snippet that is TikTok, right? Like
Right.
you talk about nail tech, and there's that line in the middle. I forgot what it is, like da 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 da, but I'm fly though. Da, da,
Right.
da. And it's just like you can just see so many people making a TikTok with that as like the song in the background, like either dancing to it or like cutting things together, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like this makes total sense. Like why someone who does it, like who someone who comes up with this like is successful because it's so catchy for a small
Right.
amount of time, and then you can kind of get out and people aren't going to be like it's the Willow Smith effect too, same thing, where it's like
Hmm.
you listen to those Willow Smith songs, pretty forgettable the first time, but when you
Got a
take 30 second,
vibe.
yeah, exactly. You take a 30-second clip and you're like, is this the greatest song ever made? Because it might be. This might be the most
Right.
catchy song I've ever heard.
Right. And there's definitely something to that, of course. You know, Drake might not be as successful on TikTok per se. I mean, big on TikTok, obviously, he's Drake, but like Drake's pen though is
Yeah.
significantly more
Oh
advanced than
yeah.
Jack's.
Yes.
That's why Drake runs Instagram captions, you know,
Right.
slightly
Exactly.
different, but also a more impressive skill, to be
Hmm.
honest. I think we also need to, I think at this point, analyze that finding success on TikTok at times can be low hanging fruit. And if
Oh
you're having
sure.
that dictate the creative direction of your songs or your record as a whole, I don't know how commendable that actually is. So, like I said, it's definitely an improvement and all that. But I still want to hear a bit more. I think for me, some of the slower tracks on this would probably be more popular with women. I think that's for me where Jack really loses me because that's where I'm like, ah man, like you're pretty good. You're pretty good at at flow and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I think on was it one with smile in the title? What's it?
I do anything to make you smile.
I
The
do
the
anything to make
track.
you smile. I think his flow on that's awesome. The Golden
Yeah.
Corral line, the Rick Pitino line, like when he's doing that, like more fun, up tempo rap, I guess kind of in vain, like what's popping. That's where I'm really with it. I think there's really fun tracks. But like when he tries to slow it down and get on the other side of the Drake comparisons, I just don't think he has that in him right now, despite how many people romanticize him.
Yeah. I'd do anything to make you smile. It has that Ed Sheeran line, which I really like. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's like in the second half, and it really
Mhm.
made me laugh.
Yeah,
I love that the track before I mentioned Young Harleasy, that Snoop Dogg drop, and just the
the drop
overall
in's
vibes
nice.
on that song is just like really fun. Um, I don't think all the features on this work so great. Uh, Justin Timberlake totally forgettable. I feel like
Yeah,
on this, which unfortunately for Justin Timberlake feels like a lot of his career recently.
I kind of wanted more from that too. Justin Timberlake, of course, from Memphis, not too far from
Yeah.
Jack and the Ville. Would like to hear them do something else, you know, because in a sense, there's a lot of parallels to Justin Timberlake's rise to fame that we have
Mhm.
now with Jack. But yeah, I mean, in a sense, I was like, oh, nice to hear Justin Timberlake, you know, and come to think of it, probably due for another album from him. He hasn't made a pandemic album yet.
Man in the Woods.
Yeah,
You
we'll see
want
if
more
he's
of
still in
that?
the woods. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. If he's still in the
Uh,
woods, don't drop it, please.
please not. Honestly, though, Churchill Downs, not what I expected. Obviously, that's the much valued feature, Drake feature on the album, a song that leaked, much to both their disappointment. And it's not what I expect because I thought it would just kind of be like a radio play, a fun rap song. It's not really that. It's
Yeah.
more about a rapping ass rap song. This is like Drake on like Weston Road Flows or
Exactly.
something, you
Yeah.
know, and or 6 a.m. on Bridal Path off Loverboy or something, you know. And I think that's where Jack is also showing. It's like, hey, I do rap, and Drake actually wanted to rap for me, and that also counts for something.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I just going back to the features, the Pharrell track, the production on it feels like a Pharrell track, but I didn't know if there's anything that really popped on that for me.
Yep.
But the track after the Pharrell track, Little Secret, I think that's one of those toned down ones that you talked about didn't really hit as much for you, but I could see that being a song that we hear everywhere, especially for that verse where he's like, I know that you hate whatever he finishes with,
Mhm.
where it's like being famous or being high or what, he kind of switches it up from verse to verse. But I think that one's probably going to be one that will blow up everywhere. Um, yeah, I mean, what else stood out to you about this album? Any other thoughts on it?
I think the one line I enjoy, I actually forget what song it's on. I'm on August Cloud 9 or something like that. Shout out August Cloud, shout out Euphoria. And the First Class video
Yeah,
stars Anita, the Latin star. Thought that was a nice choice there. Yeah, like I said, it's an improvement. And I like Jack. He seems like a really good guy. He's a fun celebrity, no doubt. Um,
yeah,
and I hope that the he sticks with music first and foremost, and he continues to get better. because songs like First Class, at the very least, do exhibit some kind of, special talent. And whether that was all the producer or Jack was super involved with that, I can't say. But that really showed me that there's still, I think, more to back it up, where some of the other songs, albeit competent and all that, are still a little bland to me. But First Class, I was like, okay, yeah, like he's definitely advancing. So I want to see that continue.
He's got such good ad libs. That moment on First Class where like it drops in, and he's like, "Uh huh." I just find myself saying that all the time, just because it's like
Hmm.
it's such a good ad lib,
You find yourself saying sweet semen as
man.
much.
Not nearly as much, but yeah, I'm not ruling it out quite yet.
Yeah.
So,
You get,
uh,
you get your pineapple juice game on soon.
anything. Jesus Christ. It's too early for this.